Hi all. Once again, thank you all for joining Back to Basics, Storytelling and the Best Practices in QuickSight. I'm Ashok, Senior Solution Architect with QuickSight. So let's take a look into agenda for the session today. So we are going to look into what is the storytelling and why it is needed when even presenting a data in form of insights, and some dashboard best practices in QuickSight, like on a high level. And I'll be presenting a short demo of one of the dashboards that we created in QuickSight. Let's take a look at the story of storytelling. So, the storytelling has been an integral part of a human experience since the early civilization from our ancestors, where they gathered around the campfire, sharing tales of wonders. And to today's data driven business presentation, the art of narrative has evolved to meet the changing needs of the society. So the reason I brought up this particular picture is, let me give a little bit background. This is an cave picture captured somewhere between 7500 BC to 700. When we first look into this picture, we're not able to understand or get the clear insight, but they're trying to share some message through this one, where if you notice clearly, all the handprints on the screen are the left hand. And based on the study, it is identified that the handprints are for the kids aged between 13 and 16. We are putting some message in the form of picture, but how we can clearly give that to the end users is what the art of storytelling lies. In the past, the story served as means to pass down the knowledge, the cultural traditions, or moral lessons. They helped us to understand our places in the universe and connect with one another on the emotional level. But in today's rapidly evolving business landscape, the art of storytelling in the data is a powerful tool that can transform raw numbers into meaningful narratives. And coming to the business intelligence, it's not just about collecting the data, it's more about how we interpreting, uncovering the insights and conveying these findings in a way that drives action. So, a compelling data story can illuminate trends, highlight opportunities, and even reveal hidden patterns that inform strategic decisions. And so, by transforming that data into meaningful narrative, we can engage stakeholders and simplify complex information. And the effective storytelling can bridge the gap between the data and understanding that turn insights into meaningful business strategies. So, as we navigate the challenges with this huge and massive volume of data in this century, the art of storytelling with data will continue to be the most powerful for shaping up the future. Let's take a look at some of the design best practices. So, as we discussed, the effective storytelling using data involves presenting the data and insights in a way that it is compelling, easy to understand, and guides the audience through a narrative. Here are some key elements to consider. The first one is the clear objective. First of all, identify the main message or the narrative that you want to convey in your dashboard. So this will help you to structure the information and the visuals in a logical flow. Like what are the key insights that can be presented on the top, followed by the different visuals and drill down options to get more lowest granular of data information from the data. And the next is context and the background. So provide the necessary context and background information to set the stage for your audience. So this could include an overview of a problem goal or the data source or where it is coming from and what we're trying to present in the dashboard. And the third is the structured flow. So organize your dashboard into sections or pages that flow a natural sequence. This could be based on the time, geography, or logical propagation of your story. And next is visual hierarchy. This is something I personally seen in multiple cases. I'm being the BI developer in the past or from the product side today. So visual hierarchy is very important. Like instead of the visuals keep being scattered across in a different places where cannot give the relevant information or when they combine two visuals. So it is very important to keep when you are using a drill down, particularly where one visual acts as a parent and other acts as a target. So it is very important to keep maintain that visual hierarchy so that users can understand. So use visual cues like size, color, placement to create a hierarchy that can guide the audience attention to the most important information first and followed by more detailed information to the bottom. Next is effective visualization. So choose appropriate chart types and visualizations that best represents your data and supports the narrative. So what I mean by that is like there are certain times I've seen like the dashboard builders just use a different format of visualization types to give a better presentation, but it doesn't give the actual meaning what we're trying to convey from the data. So that's where we need to ensure they are clear, uncluttered, and accurately portrayed on the information. And next one is annotations and highlights. So use annotations, callouts, or highlighting techniques to draw the attention to the specific insight, trends, or outliers that are crucial to your story. And next, coming to the interactivity. So consider incorporating the interactive elements such as filters or controls or drill downs, or even the tooltips that allows your audience to explore the data further and engage with your story. So having the controls at one particular place of the dashboard is also very important, so that or in an organization where you can have a standard form of template, so when a user lands they know where to go, what to do, or even adding a sub note like we'll show you another example in the demo. So in QuickSight, let's take an example where you have a title and the subtitle, where you can add a note in the subtitle column where that gives an additional information, like if there is a drill down or a tooltip feature involved, so user can directly use that and can get more insight out of it. And next comes is consistency. So maintain the consistency in your design, the color schemes, the visual styles throughout the dashboard to create an cohesive and professional look. And so at times, like when the dashboard, there might be certain organizational requirement or marketing branding standards where certain colors and schemes to be maintained. So that will gives an added advantage to understand which department organization this dashboard belongs to, having the logos or color schemes matching to it, and having the consistent look and feel across multiple dashboard also gives ease of access and understanding to the users how to navigate through any new dashboard that is being published. And finally, I have one quick call to action, like when end of your dashboard with a clear call to action and the takeaway messages, like summarizing the key insight recommendations for your audience, if that is relevant part of your use case. And remember, effective storytelling with the dashboard is not just about presenting the data, but also about guiding your audience through a narrative that provides the context, insights, and the actionable information. With that, let's take a look at a quick demo of a dashboard that I've created for the IMDB data set. Whatever we discussed in the previous, like the best practices or the basics, let's see like how the QuickSight dashboard is being built and how it is being structured. And I will also give a quick walkthrough of how this dashboard is being built and using certain features within QuickSight. So this dashboard talks about IMDb award season spotlight, like the award category, the trends, the user reviews, how the award trend or what genre of movies is being released over the years. So to uncover all this detailed data, we have built this dashboard. Where top it's starting with an header, with an logo and the color scheme matching to what we're trying to tell here about the awards. And the next is there is a result section of filters and controls all at one place. So users will be given a clear idea, like if they want to perform any drill down or filtering, that can be start at the top and followed by the KPIs. So any key insights that we would like to deliver, where this is the first place where the user lands into or take a look at, and from there they can decide where to navigate or what information to grab from the dashboard. So here I have some KPIs like best picture, director, actor, actress, and most popular movies. And here is the sample insights about each of these segments. So the control, whatever I have here, it is relevant to every single section of the, it is connected to every single section of the dashboard. And followed by further, I'm going to one level detail down in the second segment of the dashboard, where I have two visuals. One talking about the released by country, the number of titles. So this way we can understand like number of movies or the titles that has been released across different zones or regions of the in multiple countries. And the size indicates number of titles released over the selected period of time. And the right is titles by genre, where you can see what category of films being released by the size, the word cloud. Okay. And next comes the further detailed breakdown into another dimension or measure that I would like to look into. Next is the title released by year, which is further more detailed information. So these three visuals, and the reason is based on the amount of data that you're trying to present, you can align those visuals where they can best fit in, and at also same time that can showcase what information it want to present. So for me, I have this is the amount of number of years that I would like to present where it can fit in. But let's assume like if there is hundreds of years of information that you want to put in, and if you want to try squeezing all that into a small tile, that may not make sense. Where you might lose a bit of information. The users may not access this or don't have idea that information exists. So make sure that size of your tile or the visual tile that you're creating can fit into the visual type that can exactly fit in to showcase all the information that you want to present. So in this case, I have this data from 1980 to 2024, which can fit in. And at the same time, you can see I have a tooltip added because there is no direct numeric connect available for a year. So this is where the annotation comes into a picture, where you can see the year plus number of titles being released for each year that you can navigate. And followed by, on the right side, I have a scatter plot where this is grouping two informations, the title by IMDB rating. So there are set of titles, which the titles with IMDB rating below 5, and IMDB title, the titles with IMDB rating above 5. So this is the subsegment which I was talking about. So adding this note will give an idea, like an additional information, what this visual is talking about. So where you can use the remaining real estate to have the tile fixed or expanded so that every dot is visible, and at the same time it also gives the information what it is talking about. So all these dots at the white or the number of titles that is falls under 5 or average 5 rating, and all this in the golden dots on the top with the bigger size or the titles that had ratings 5 or above, and number of titles that falls under that category. And finally, the average movie rating by the genre selected. Currently, it is all genres, where currently it is 7.9, which gives me a donut chart like with the overall rating of 10, like on an average, collectively, all these movie combined, how much it is coming. So till this point from the top, we've seen the key indicators or the summarized information at the geographic level or the timeline level or any other different key dimensions that we have. Now, once we have all that information selected, now we want to exactly hit like a specific movie or the title or the TV series and what was the rating for that. So in that case, let's take an example, the Lego movie. So if I want to further drill down and look into the more detailed information of that particular movie, this gives me the most granular information that is extracted from the IMDb. And this is where you can have a lot of details added. For example, it has a movie image that is directly driving, and it still sticks to the theme what we're trying to present, and followed by a card that is showing what is the title, what is the rating, a quick overview of what the movie and what were the awards won, a number of nominations year released, and what are the major categories the award it won. And also on top of that, if you want to add an external link, you can add this where you can see the more info on IMDb, which will act as an external link for this web page. Okay, so this way you can have a consistent experience from the top to bottom and nicely aligned, so which will give you a more professional look for the audience. Let me quickly walk you through how this has been built. Let me go to the analysis page. So in QuickSight, to build this particular dashboard, I have used the freeform layout, which gives you flexibility of adding the custom images, positioning them at the pixel perfect layer, and you can have the color schemes and themes that has been created. So I have used a nice image in the background, which acts as a dashboard layout for that. And from the top to bottom, it has been aligned with the different images and insights. So the main advantage of using freeform is you can do the image or visual overlay where and you can align it according to the dashboard design that you're trying to. And followed by this particular card is a multi-layer visuals where each part has a different information. Like one is used for title, one is for rating, and you can even use the insights. So in this case, I'm using an insight and rating to calculate what movie is being selected, and using the rank function to filter only the selected part is appearing. For example, if I go to a specific movie, it can render that, and it automatically does the check for the rank one. And I've shrink the tile to fit into the specific space and position, and adding the URL part to it, and making it all one insight, and another insight for the text part, and the different KPIs and insights for the visuals. And again, these awards were nominated, yearly released, or the basic text visuals that I'm placing here. And finally, another image in the background to highlight the top awards won. So this way you can maintain the clear structure and use the controls across the dashboard. And coming to the controls, this is something I must to talk about in the dashboard. So for example, if I go to genre and I select like adventure, comedy, and drama. So based on my selection, you can see every single visual is getting updated according to that, and the visual tiles are adjusting. And again, I have a controls placed in each individual visual too. For example, if I select North Americas, you can see all other visual tiles are getting adjusted according to my selection. So you can place controls at every single visual where you think it is meaningful to have the control, and make it as an source controller for all other visuals. Okay. So this particular dashboard, if you are interested, it is available in our DemoCentral. So this is where all our demo assets are published to. If you'd like to take a look under Ask You section, um, you can see this Q IMDB. So here is the dashboard available, and this is also tied with the Q&A experience. You can ask the questions on the top. We are currently working on this, but you should have access to the Q&A experience as well, and you can test this dashboard. So here in the dashboard, let me go here, edit. You can see this analysis settings here. Under analysis settings, the sheet layout, by default, you will see the tiled. In this case, for the pixel perfect reporting, you can go with the freeform layout, and also you can set the optimize the viewing depending on what would be the most used devices, like a laptop, iPad. You can select the pixel scale, and you can start placing this visual. And for the alignment of visuals, like image overlay, for example, if you go here, click on the pencil icon or the format visual, there are properties for these properties. For example, the display settings, like a background color, the width and height, X and Y positions, or the load animations. All these properties are available only for the freeform layout. If you switch into different form of sheet layout, automatically these will be disabled. So this way you can use it. And when you go here into the specific visual, it gives you option to send it to backward, or bring forward, or bring to front. So this way you can align multiple layers of visuals. So when you go here, under there are multiple sections, there are sample dashboards available. We are also planning to put this IMDB into demo dashboard. So first thing is, if you go into Q, under Q, you will see Q-IMDB, and this is where the dashboard is available. And the reason why we want to put it into demo dashboard demo part is, this will give you option to look into the analysis where you can go into the edit mode. For example, if I'm in the airline sentiment analysis dashboard, and if I want to see how it has been built, I can click on this edit. It takes me to the free authoring session of QuickSight, which is in embedded mode. And here you will have access to the sample dataset, which is pre-created, and all the visuals you can play and validate, or understand how each visual style is created and what are the properties being set. So I'm working with another architect from my team to put that IMDB dashboard into this particular demo dashboard section. So let's take this example, the best picture. So there are multiple layers in this. So for example, you can see this is one of the layers I'm using. And for this, if I go to the visual properties here, and you can see I'm using the custom visual content. So what this custom visual content does is, let me go here, and I can make this as a custom visual content and customize visual. This gives me under custom content, I can just add an URL of an image and I can load that. So that way I had the first layer in the image, which is that. And on top of that, let me take this back. And here I have a simple insight created. And if I go to customize narrative, so this is the insight I created with a total aggregation value. I'm using the specific computations on a metric field and the total aggregation. So these fields are nothing but the title count of the count distinct of title ID. That being the metric, I'm creating this insight. Now, once I align this, I'm setting this different display setting positions. Like I'm keeping it as a width 1200 224 height and a specific X and Y. And once I've done that, I'm adding this inside. So I can either do send to back to completely hide that visual. Now this layer takes some precedence and comes to the top, or I can simply make it bring to front. So this will be my top. So you can use this ellipsis on the every visual tile on this QuickSight has with the freeform layout has this option where you can arrange them in a different layers, whether you can completely send it to the back or send one step backward to the current immediate visual behind this, or you can bring forward or you can bring to the front altogether.